Hello, and welcome to episode 4 of the Audacity Factor podcast. My name is Kathryn Dahl. I'll be your host, your guide, your challenger, even here where we talk all things courage, audacity, and choices, because literally our choices dictate the quality and the through line of our lives, what kind of choices we're making. So we're going to talk today about that very thing, choice. And I believe that choices can be really simplified into kind of two different camps. We're going to have the camp that supports you and the camp that undermines you. And I think that's a really powerful word, isn't it? Undermining, it really feels like somebody's going to pull the rug out from under you and you're going to fall. And so many times when we're presented with choices, we can get confused, we can overanalyze, and we can feel like it's a choice between two difficult things. But, they can be difficult, but really, when we look at it, is it going to undermine you or is it going to support you? So here on the Audacity Factor podcast, really even the foundational structure here is around having the courage to be honest with yourselves, having the courage to not deny what's going on in your life. And it's really not even a matter of how you got there. Obviously, you got there because of choices that you made. Okay, and maybe they weren't great. A lot of them weren't great. Maybe some of them were terrible. I know I've been there, oh my gosh, and done it so many times. And you know what? The fact is, we will continue to do it because our choices that's how we learn. It's not about success and failure. I have to admit, I'm so tired of hearing all the heaviness and blather around success and failure. And um, it's really about, is your life feeling good to you? Or is your life feeling maybe not so good or like crap? I've been in both of those scenarios, and I do admit in the past, so much of mine wasn't feeling good as I got caught up in an abusive relationship, as I got caught up in some self-destructive patterns, as I got caught up in people-pleasing, denial, all the things. Victimhood, that was a big one. So, if we don't choose to do something different, then our lives will stay the same. And I want something I want you to think about. And once you hear this, you can't unhear it. So if you don't want to hear it, then go ahead and turn this off. But if you're going to be courageous, if you're going to be brave, and if you're going to have the audacity to actually do something about your life, then listen up. So the same amount of time will pass if you do something to change your life or if you don't do something to change your life. The only difference being you will still be stuck and feeling badly about where your life is, or you will have made the brave, courageous choice to do something different so that you can have a better life. The same amount of time passes. That doesn't change. So if that's the case, then wouldn't you rather have made a choice to do something different, to do the work needed to have the life that you really want? And can you even look at that? Is that something that you can even take a look at? Honesty has got to be our guideline. You have got to be able to take a look at your life, where it is right now, whether it's relation to your career, your relationships, your health, your finances, and know that all of those things are connected. All of them. One affects the other. But you have to be able to take an honest look at that to see where you are. And maybe that's hard. I know for me, it was really hard, especially after lingering for so long in an abusive relationship that I knew wasn't good for me. I literally sacrificed my sanity, my physical health, my emotional health, all of it, staying in that relationship when I knew it wasn't good for me. I knew it wasn't what I wanted. All I knew was I wanted to escape the pain. I felt, however, at the time, confused. Literally everything that I was doing was I was undermining myself, and I was allowing the other person to contribute to that. Because truth is, when you're in a scenario, and this could be a job, this could be with a boss, this could be with a friend, this could be with a family member, but remember, it's always relational, always. That those situations, those relationships that are putting you in an undermining position, they will always feed that, because what they do is undermine our strengths so that all you're left with is your weaknesses. Now, how can we possibly make any healthy choices from our weaknesses, from our confusions, from our uncertainty? How can we? This is when you tap into your courage, you tap into your bravery. You take an honest look at where you are, recognize that you have a choice to be there or not. You have the choice to support yourself or undermine yourself, to empower yourself, to disempower yourself. And this may look like different things. You know, we can also go with, okay, well, you can either create or you can destroy. However, there are some things that need to be destroyed first before we can build or rebuild. And a lot of that is our self-imposed walls, boundaries, thinking we're protecting ourselves when actually we're just keeping ourselves isolated, which just makes everything worse because you feel like you're alone. And you feel like you have no control. When you actually have complete control, you hold the keys to your cage. Someone else does not. The power is always yours. And I know you've heard me say this before. The power is always yours. It's never in someone else's hands. It's always in yours. You're just not choosing to use it for your own benefit. So how about let's step into being proactive? When do you start? Now. How do you start? By literally examining every choice that you make from now on in this just simplest form. What is it that you want? I had a really hard time with that. I didn't even know it was a thing. I literally lived my life flying by the seat of my pants. Whether it was through divorce, single motherhood, I could tell you all the things. A lot of you know my story, some of you don't. My house burned down. I suffered from several severe injuries, like bizarre ones that had long-term repercussions, long-term recoveries. So, I think there's so much noise out there. So many people talk about this strategy and that strategy and this tool and that tool. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with those. And if you find them helpful, I encourage you to use them. This, however, is one, you can consider it a tool or a strategy. This is one that is so simple and that you can use in every scenario. It can be in regard to your health, whether your eating habits, your exercising, your physical fitness, whatever that it looks like, you can apply this. is this thing going to support me in what I want, or is it going to undermine me in what I want? That's it. It's a simple question, and it has a simple answer. Now, I can already hear a lot of the F-its going on, as in F it. You know, I'm going to have this piece of cake, or I'm going to have one more drink, or I'm not going to work out today and I'll do it tomorrow, or whatever that is, or I'm just going to go ahead and buy this thing because I really want it, or, whatever it is for you, and it doesn't have to get to the point where the pain of not doing it is greater than the pain of doing it. Doesn't have to go that far. For me, it went, oh my God. You know, I say a lot of the time that sometimes as women, we can beat the dead horse. Just beat it until there is no horse. There's not even a ghost of a horse anymore, to make sure we did our best and we tried hard enough and maybe it'll work this time and blah, 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 blah. Which is just a complete exercise in frustration and sacrifice, truly undermining behavior. A lot of that's driven by our training, by society, by our families, by even the places where we live or grow up. And it can be driven nowadays too by everything that we have access to and are exposed to. I thrive on simplification. I love to make things simple. I like things direct. So I'll always be direct with you, and I'll always simplify and not complicate. So I challenge you to this week. What can you do? Start now. Can you allow yourself to let go of being the victim? Can you step out of blame? Can you step out of pointing your finger somewhere else? It's someone else's doing. Do you have a dream? Do you? What is it that you want? Only you know it. Maybe you're not able to admit it. You get to choose the life that you want. You're the creator. I encourage you to rebuild your self-trust if you don't have any. Rebuild your self-confidence if you don't have any. Breathe life into what you want, not into what you don't want. So many times we can talk all day about, I've experienced this so many times, asking clients, friends, even families, well, what is it you actually want? Well, everybody first, they usually say, I don't know. Second, they list all the things they don't want. And that's not that I'm saying that's not important to know that what you don't want. However, if you already know those things so well, how is it that you don't know what it is that you want? So, what is it? What is it that you want? You don't have to just exist. You're here to thrive. We're here to live in joy and peace and love. And you get to choose that for yourself in your own life. This isn't about pointing the finger elsewhere and telling somebody else what they should be doing or what they need to do. It's only about you and what you want to be and who you want to be and what you want to do, what you want to say, what you want to think. So start now. Stop waiting for something to happen, because it's not going to. And if it does, the majority of the time is going to be something that you don't want to happen. So how about we take the reins and we take responsibility fully for what happens in our lives? Now, obviously, there are some things like my house burnt down. I had no control over that, but it was a thing that happened to me, yes. But There was no life loss. There was no harm other than to my house. But if you really want your life to change, you've got to make the choices. You've got to embrace your courage, even if it's audacious. And I peddle audacity because it's going to take that to change some of our lives, to have a better life, to have all the things that you want. You've got to start somewhere. Again, same amount of time is going to pass, whether you start or not. So why not start now? Embrace it. Because I guarantee it can change your life. All right, that's going to be it for me today on episode 4 of the Audacity Factor podcast. You can visit my website. I am the founder of Audacity Coaching and Strategies. You can actually go right below and download the assessment. If you really want to dig into this and if you really want to start, you're like, yes, hell yes, I'm on it. Then I encourage you to download the assessment now. It's free, but it will literally show you what's what when you literally approach it from a place of I'm ready to see my life as it is right now, so I know exactly what to do about it. All right, I will see you all next week. It is a pleasure to be here with you, and I'll have any suggestions or anything, comments, I'm up for it. So I will see you all next week with another episode of the Audacity Factor podcast.